Bahaitsu, Madume Khafeli. You're still watching Mzanzi Fundiz, where we discuss anything and everything that has to do with South African football and African football at large. Machita, we're going to be looking at the Champions League. Yazorana. Orlando Pirates is there. Mouloudia Sundowns is there. In the Confederation Cup, we also have Stellenbosch. A good time to be South African?
Amazing time to be in that space. South African football is on the trajectory. You look at the national team as well that we spoke about earlier on. I don't know if you look at the Sundowns game against Aspirants. I think Sundowns also finds themselves in a good position, because if you look at Aspirants and you look at the last 3 games they played, or the last 5 games they played, they've lost 3 out of that, and they've drawn 2. And you look at Sundowns, they've won 3 and probably lost 2 in it as well. So also the changes that happened at Aspirants should be an advantage point for Sundowns in terms of.
They fired the coach.
Yeah, they fired the Romanian coach, and you look at that alone, it says something. But remember, Sundowns has been in this position where Wydad initially dismissed the coach, and they came here and they did something crazy and they won the game. But I think now with Cardoso switching sides, probably your technical abilities that he brings to the Sundowns lineup and the Sundowns team will prove to be an Achilles heel for Aspirants.
Is this a formula that the North African teams seem to have found working for them? Just fire a coach, just bring in a new broom just minutes before games of great magnitude?
Look, I think it's worked. But there's always something that breaks the cycle. Yeah. And you can be able to say, and like SC rightfully says, Wydad had just fired a coach, and he came to Loftus, Toby Mvala helped them along, Shire called them. So, but when you then look at Coach Cardoso and where he is, he's a coach that knows, Sundowns are a team that is now able to play and suffer without the ball. That's never been a Sundowns way of playing. But Coach Cardoso has got them into the system. He's got to be able to say the players that he's got, to be able to say how does he use them. Plus, he is the same coach that knocked out Sundowns. So while, yes, there may have been changes at Esperance, but he knows the technical abilities of the team on the other side more than anybody else. So that should be able to work for Sundowns.
Mpho, there's been an outcry from Mouloudia Sundowns supporters saying there hasn't been great support coming from the league. But then how does the league try and balance having fixtures being played and Mouloudia Sundowns having enough time to go into the next fixture? The game against Kukuni, and was it an unwanted thorn that they could have avoided at all?
Look, I think because then you've got to look at why was the game postponed? Because there was, again, what is it with administration and letting people down? Because the league was supposed to book a stadium. Somebody should have said then Sundowns would have had a clearer run. So that error is now costing Sundowns more than it is costing the league. Because at the end of the day, Sundowns are the one that has to put play. Because let's make no mistake, the game between Sekhukhune and Sundowns is not going to be a walkover. Sekhukhune team is solid. So it's going to be a tough game that they need, that Sundowns could have done without. Because you've got players that are coming back from national team. Do you play them? You've got players that have not rested, and all those things you need to be at 100%, because this is the FA Cup that everybody's playing in. And Sundowns want to be able to win the FA Cup. So those are the things.
Having lost out on the League Cup.
Yeah. So this is something that Sundowns will bear the brunt. And the league has not done itself justice by doing that. We've got to be able to place this on the front door of Parktown and say, by doing this, you are now costing your own countrymen an opportunity to allow them to shine.
But to interject there, Cox, when I look at this, and I wanna compare it to an Al Ahly team that plays so many cups, and we normally talk about pedigree, and this is where you build pedigree as a team. And Sundowns has an opportunity to do that, playing these many cups and these many games. Yes, it's an inconvenience in terms of your squad depth, but I think with the number of players that Sundowns has at their disposal, the talent that's there, they should be able to get over the edge on this one.
If I were to say, and I do apologize, if I were to say prioritize between the two as a coach, where would your loyalty?
Look, I think the Caf Champions League is the bigger fish, and of course you'd sacrifice the Nedbank Cup and focus on the Caf Champions League. But being at Sundowns, you can't sacrifice anything. You're going to push for both of them.
All right. Orlando Pirates, unfortunately, they don't have to find themselves in a position where they make any sacrifices.
No, well-rested Orlando Pirates. The team has rested well. The Bafana players left, didn't even come home, so they'll meet. And Orlando Pirates have put a solid team in terms of what they've done. They're one of the few teams that went through group stages without a loss. You can't, because if you look at their group, they had Al Ahly, they had CR Belouizdad in that. Those were not walkovers. Yeah. So that's something that they've...
Not even a lot of people are giving them an opportunity to move out. Yeah.
So you're looking to be able to say, can they carry forward? And in terms of form, you hope they take from the Sundowns game, which they won, and then be able to move forward. Because before the Sundowns game, there were some players which was, I remember saying they've gone AWOL. You're looking at the likes of Mabasa, you're looking at the likes of Mufukeng. They were not having the best of run. But the Sundowns game, a lot of people raised their hands, and they need to play at that level and be able to say they put their name. But it's not going to be easy. Tickets are sold out. Within 9 hours, the MCL Jazz had sold out tickets. It's one of the top teams in Algeria. So they're going to a very hostile environment, and it can only be good for them because they get to get home. And to the supporters of Orlando Pirates, watch how your team is treated there by the fans and replicate what they do when they come here.
Their victory against Sundowns, that should have prepared them moving forward. Will they be able to carry the momentum, considering the fact that they're not beaten in this competition?
Yeah, they should be. I mean, you look at the approach of that game. They actually swap sides if you look at it. What Sundowns did in the 4-1 drubbing, Pirates actually brought it back and said, you know what, this is how Sundowns played this game in the 4-1 drubbing that we had. We'll apply the same tactics and let's see how it works out. And they managed to do it when Cardoso said he did it in 20 minutes. Pirates actually did it in 5 minutes, literally 2 minutes. You know, you look at that and it speaks to that. So for me, I think technically, Jose has something Mapagania can be happy about. And traveling for Pirates hasn't been much of a challenge for them. You look at the Caf Champions League, how they've treated themselves in terms of traveling. They've handled this situation so very well. And I think they're going to come out in this game actually victorious.
Cox, it looks like it will be a farewell tour for Jose based on what we are seeing on other TV shows.
Well, we can't say conclusively that Jose is leaving. Yeah. We all know that Orlando Pirates are very secretive when it comes to their affairs. Unfortunately, that's all we have for this segment. Do make sure that you stay with Mzanzi Fundiz, as it is your choice when it comes to everything that has to do with Diski Yamola Play.